Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Josh Wonders Why. I'm here as usual with Pastor Kelly. Appreciate you joining us.
Sure.
It's going to be a fun night tonight. It just happens to be April Fool's Day, which is the first for this. I guess it's the first time we've done it on Monday with April Fool's.
Yeah.
And I guess we need to acknowledge something else, the large peep in the room as well.
Yeah.
That has not been there before.
I feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah. Do you want to, I guess...
I'm pretty excited about this.
You want to give a background?
It was just like with some broken down boxes at the beginning of like March or whenever they got the Easter candy out. It was back in the photo center with some broken down boxes, and I asked if I could have it, and the guy was like, I can't say yes or no. So I went back today. They were still there. There's a pink one there too if anybody wants one. So, and the lady in the photo center let me take it.
Okay.
I didn't want to be greedy and take them both, so I took the yellow one.
You'll go back tomorrow when you get the other one, right? You'll give another 24 hours.
We only have one extra chair.
So you're going to keep this here? We're going to decorate the studio with this
year round? I don't know.
You're going to bring it home and decorate your house?
I am not going to take it home. It is going to stay here.
So you could put a lawn stake behind it and just put it out in the front yard during Easter season.
Yeah, that's true. Don't tempt my husband.
Or put it in a window that peeks out, that scares people.
I'll probably leave it here in the studio.
And you got some other peep stuff too.
I did. There were no edible peeps left, but hey, you know, we each get to open something.
Oh, we get to open these?
Yeah.
I'm not prepared.
This is a mystery egg.
It's a mystery egg. This is a pearl dough. It's a dough pack shape cutter.
And it says don't eat it.
Oh, it says, yeah, marshmallow scented, not edible. Because that's my first question. If it's dough, is it edible?
Not that kind of dough.
So as we open these, tonight we'll be celebrating April Fool's. We have a couple funny things to talk about tonight. Just to give you some fun for your week. Hopefully it's some fun. And I'm struggling to open this. I can never open these things. There we go.
Get the egg open. Oh, it's a yellow peep to go with our yellow peep. I was shaking them because they were either like a peep or a bunny, and I was like, this one rattles. It's got to be a peep.
This appears to be some sort of Play-Doh type stuff, and a cutter. You can cut it in the shape of an egg, I think.
Aww.
I'm not going to open it now, but yes, that is fun.
Yeah.
We can play with that. So if you're new to the Josh Wonders Why experience, we typically don't do this, but Kelly is a peep fanatic, and apparently ever since Easter happened yesterday, and everything's on sale, and apparently they're throwing out old cardboard cutouts of peeps. Kelly...
And it's just something we do here.
Yeah.
You know?
We celebrate peeps.
We just like peeps.
Yeah. So tonight, like I said before, on Josh Wonders Why, it is April Fool's Day, April 1st. And
I hate April Fool's Day.
Why is that?
I hate being tricked. I don't like being fooled.
Does it go back to were you tricked one time and it was a bad experience for you?
I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't know if I had one bad experience or multiple bad experiences.
And I do know you don't enjoy dad jokes or pun jokes or anything, right? You don't find them funny.
Sometimes, but yeah.
I would challenge you, if you're watching this, if you have the best bad dad joke or a pun joke or just a joke in general, post in the comments. We'll see if we can get Kelly to laugh. I do have a funny joke or a dad joke that is one of my favorites. I don't take credit for it. It's my wife's or it's my father-in-law's joke that I really enjoy, and I'll bring it up in a little bit.
Okay.
April Fool's Day, I did find it interesting as I was doing some research. So I don't know, maybe you're aware of this, and I am getting this peep is doing a nice echo of my voice, so I'm hearing it. It's interesting, but we'll get by. So apparently, I didn't know this. The week or the Sunday after Easter is called Bright Sunday, or the week after is called Holy Humor Sunday, Holy Humor Week. And I don't know if you're aware of that.
The week after Easter?
The week after Easter, yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because it
in
says...
In the church, we just have the season of Easter that lasts for 50 days.
So it says, and I'll from what I found on the websites, many American churches are resurrecting an old Easter custom that began by the Greeks called Holy Humor Sunday, and it celebrates Jesus' resurrection on the Sunday after Easter. So for centuries in Eastern Orthodox, Catholic, and Protestant countries, the week following Easter included what they call Bright Sunday, which now is apparently called Humor Sunday. And it was observed as as days of joys and laughter with parties and picnics to celebrate Jesus' resurrection.
I like it.
Sounds fun. Now, Yeah, so churchgoers and pastors played practical jokes on each other
Oh no,
and
I don't like that.
drenched each other with water,
No,
told
no, no.
jokes, sang and danced. So
I'll
just
sing
celebration.
and dance, and I'll eat cake.
So I guess, and I know we discussed this with the atonement theory, but it's interesting that the custom was rooted in the musings of the early church theologians that said that God played a practical joke on the devil by raising Jesus from the dead. So that's where that originated from. So they celebrate that, and I feel like it's, over the course of Lent and on into Good Friday and into Sunday, right? There's a week that you should really, you can't just be a day you celebrate as a resurrection. You should go into the full week. So,
I talked about that yesterday in my message.
So that's why we have Peeps and this huge cutout to celebrate that. So it is interesting, because since Easter is based off of, and you talked about this, it's based off of like the phases of the moon or something, right? Some planetary event.
Last year, Easter was in April.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
So I find it, and I guess I need some research.
Really early.
Well, I need some research because I don't know how often the humor or the humor Sunday or the week after Easter is also coincides with April Fool's Day. So I feel like that's a double whammy, right?
Yeah.
April Fool's Day and Holy Humor Sunday.
Yeah.
So I guess we are seeing some jokes. I want to stop and look at some jokes. So a second grader told me a joke today. When does an astronaut eat? I don't know. Do you know? I've never heard that joke before. When does an astronaut eat? So if you can respond back, I'd be curious to see.
Once at the zoo, I noticed a piece of toast in a cage. Then I realized it was bred in captivity.
At launch. Okay, when does an astronaut eat? At launch. That is hilarious. I love it. Keep them coming if you got more jokes. Yeah. So April Fool's Day, I did some research because I was curious. And apparently the thought is it dates back to like the 16th century when France switched from the Julian calendar, which had a new year beginning April 1st, to the Gregorian calendar that had it happen on January 1st, right? Mm-hmm. So those that were not aware or slow, that year they still celebrated the new year in April, and they returned April Fools saying, hey, we celebrated this a couple months ago. You guys are fools, right? So anyway, so we're here to talk about funny things and get some funny jokes on there. And what I was hoping to do is we found a couple of funny news articles that we wanted to talk about. But before that, I think you were cracking up before here.
Yeah, I was.
You researched, there's a couple of funny news headlines that you found.
Oh, there's a whole list.
So if you want to go through those lists, I'd love to hear some funny headlines.
Okay.
And these are these real headlines too?
I sure hope so. I assume they are. But let's see. So here's one. Police begin campaign to run down jaywalkers. Farmer Bill dies in house. I had to think about that one.
I'm still trying to think about it.
So it's a farmer bill,
a
bill in Congress, I guess. Dies in the House of Representatives. Yeah.
If you had to explain it, it's not funny. It's still funny though.
Let's see. Teacher strikes idle kids. Minors refuse to work after death. I don't know what this. Juvenile court to try shooting defendant. As in try in a court of law, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
took me a moment.
you gotta come up with the people that write these headlines gotta think about this. Maybe it makes sense when you're trying to just get straight to the point.
Yeah.
To kind of have double meaning.
War dims hope for peace. That'll happen. If strike isn't settled quickly, it may last a while. Cold wave linked to temperatures. I feel like I'm on Saturday Night Live reading the news.
Yeah.
It's like something they would do. Red tape holds up new bridges. Well, that could be a problem.
Red tape.
Man struck by lightning faces battery charge.
Or is it, you said man struck by lightning? That's hilarious.
Man struck by lightning faces battery charge.
Battery charges. That's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Astronaut takes blame for gas in spacecraft. Have you ever seen the movie Rocket Man? The funny one?
The one from the 90s.
Yes.
I saw it in the 90s. Yes.
Oh man, I've seen that movie so many times.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that
it's
was your
kind of
type
like
of humor. I thought it was stupid at the time.
It
That's
is. It is. But
is that the one when he toots in his astronaut suit?
But he's hooked up to the other guy.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't me.
Was that called Rocket Man? That was the name of the movie. Okay, because that
Yeah.
was who's the main? Because that comedian that was is it Harland.
I don't
know.
remember his name, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a family favorite.
I'm surprised.
And then
You
we
go
have-
from National Lampoons to that. That seems like totally different ends of the.
Oh no, they're both. Duh. at least Rocket Man had some, charm to it, had romance in it. So
Oh, National Lampoon's Christmas had some romance.
sure. Do you want any more headlines?
Yes, if you got more that are
Okay.
funny. They're all funny so far. I shouldn't say that they're funny. They're all funny.
Kids make nutritious snacks. Local high school dropouts cut in half. That's harsh.
That is harsh.
Hospitals are sued by 7-foot doctors.
Yeah, I mean, really, you got to read these out loud when you type them up. Do they
I
make
know,
sense in your head? They do.
Yeah.
You read them out loud.
Yeah, you really
I don't know.
gotta.
That's,
Yeah. And the last
That's
one:
hilarious.
typhoon rips through cemetery, hundreds dead. Okay,
Well, that will do it. That's funny.
that was my laugh for the day.
That's hilarious. So we got some funny news articles. Well, I guess, well, not funny, but they're interesting. Odd, we'll say, in some places. So I guess I'll pick one first.
Okay.
Which one of those do you want to talk about? And I'll pick the other one. Which one do you really prefer? I figured you picked that one. Okay. We'll start with the least funny of the 3 funny news articles. So, and it's a short news article, and I'll just read it as it's written. But this one is from March 29th, and the title is Police Confuse Security Camera Cat Photo for a Mountain Lion. And it says, police in California shared a resident's security camera photo of what was initially said to be a mountain lion, but later clarified that the animal was merely a big cat. That's got to be a pretty big cat. So it says the South San Francisco Police Department said in a Facebook post that the photo captured by a resident's Ring camera depicted a mountain lion walking along a fence.
Well, mountain lions aren't that big, though.
But would it walk along a fence, though? That's got to be a pretty sturdy fence. Maybe.
Yeah,
Have you seen a mountain lion in real
in a
life?
picture.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Somebody set me straight. I don't think that mountain lions are that big. Maybe I'm thinking
They're
of a
bigger than
different cat.
cats, I would think.
But see, the thing that got me about that was, when you go, like if you go to your kid's school and you have to, push the button and the camera is on
Yeah.
you, you got to stay back from the camera.
Yeah.
Because people get right up in it and then all they can see is a big nose because it distorts your picture. So that's what I thought. Well, maybe the cat was just distorted in the picture and it just looked bigger than
Reminds
it
me
was.
of there's a skit, and I'll get to the rest of the story to explain more, but there's a skit that we saw during quarantine. Disney had a couple of the Disney Channel did a couple of kid-friendly, sort of SNL sort of skits, right? And one of them was the family was all trying to Zoom together, and the grandma just did not get technology, so she had a camera, and she was just always, the camera was always up in her face or something weird, and it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
But so someone says mountain lions can be up to 200 pounds. I don't know about
I'm thinking
domestic
of something
cats.
else then.
Maybe
I'm thinking of a bobcat or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So it says the officers. So they placed on Facebook. They said officers conducted an area check, but were unable to locate this animal anywhere with no additional sightings. So they put in a post saying, "We'd like to remind our residents to avoid mountain lions, even at a distance. A brief glimpse should be cause for alarm." And that says the police later edited the post, revealing that the animal in the picture was actually just a particularly large domestic cat. They said, "We're able to confirm that the big cat was not a mountain lion. Out of abundance of caution, we wanted to share tips on what to do if you encounter one of these guys in the wildlife or your neighborhood. We're happy to report that there is no potential threat for the neighborhood." So, I don't know. That's got to be, I've seen pictures of pretty big cats too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if you overfeed them, they get pretty big. And
Well,
they're,
Maine Coon cats get really big.
okay. How big are your cats? You don't have any big cats, right?
No.
Okay.
The two boy cats are kind of, I don't know. they're like, when you pick them up, they feel really heavy to us compared to our female cat, who's really pretty tiny, and so. But apparently they're healthy. So.
That's good. So there you go. Thought that was pretty funny that initially thought it was a mountain lion, but turned out to just be a really big cat with a Ring camera. You can't trust, like you said, the Ring camera sort of gives a fishbowl sort of look as well sometimes. So it's hard to discern stuff. So that's that. And you have an article too?
Okay, so a Cheshire, England woman rescued what she believed to be an abandoned baby hedgehog and took it to a local animal hospital. She brought it to the animal hospital, concerned. She kept it overnight. She took it home and kept it overnight. And she put some cat food in it. She just put it in a box, gave it some cat food, left it alone in a warm, dark place. She didn't really look at it because she didn't want to stress it out, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah.
And and then the next day took it to the animal hospital. She was concerned that it hadn't moved or pooped all night. Veterinarians then informed the woman that she had actually rescued a pom-pom from the top of a beanie hat. Yes. Remember, their Facebook posted, "Kindness knows no bounds, even when it's to a faux furry friend."
That is hilarious.
I thought that was sweet, though.
It is. I wonder if that, so often, though, we will have our kids will mistake a little fuzz for a bug and they'll freak out. It's like, it's just a fuzz of lint. And say, no, it's a bug. And so I gotta pick it up. And but
the thing that bothers me about this story that is not funny, she was an older lady, maybe 60s or 70s.
I missed that the first reading.
I didn't read it.
Oh.
I was like, I was trying to go for the punchline, so I read it out of order. But yeah, I didn't appreciate that because I'm getting close to 60 and my eyesight is fine. Okay, well, not as good as it used to be, but I think I could tell the difference between a pom-pom and a hedgehog. So don't put that on me.
We don't typically have any hedgehogs around here. They're not that common, though.
Right.
So
yeah.
So it's interesting. I went actually to that website because I was curious. Or went to the place where they found it, the park they mentioned, and because I didn't have the date line on there, but it was from England, and I actually went with the website. They actually have a section on the park's website for hedgehog safety, and it says if you find a hedgehog in the daytime, there's usually something wrong with it, because meaning that mainly they're supposed to hide, because it says it needs to be taken in care immediately because it will probably be dehydrated and often a victim of fly strike, which is when flies figure the hedgehog is dying and they lay eggs on it and so on. So anyways, this lady probably was aware of that because apparently maybe over in England hedgehogs are more common, I guess, and maybe they know how to take care of hedgehogs. So if you see it,
it's funny, but at the same time, you're like, don't you wish more people would be that kind?
You know what? I just thought of a new business idea. You heard of Pet Rocks? I'm gonna do pet.
There you go.
Snowcap fuzzies or whatever they're called, right?
Are those anything like the Tribbles on Star Trek?
The trebles, those? I don't know. I can't recall how big. Yeah, trebles. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm surprised you remember the trebles. I didn't think you were a Star Trek fan.
I'm not, and I've never seen that episode, but
how do you know?
I've heard about it.
Okay.
And there's actually the first time I heard about it, when I used to do a lot of crocheting, there's a crochet pattern called the treble because it's you make it and it's kind of like it's something you scrub your pots and pans with.
Yeah. I think the episode of the TV show is called The Trouble with Trebles, I think is what they called it in the TV show.
Well, maybe now I can watch it now that I can watch YouTube again.
Well, it's actually it's part of, they have them in the original Star Trek movie, the second movie. I can't recall what it's called.
I have to watch a whole movie?
They're trebles. I mean, it's sort of a key plot point at the end. But let's see. So, okay, I guess your male cats are around 12 pounds each. And then I know, if this is Mary Kate, she made little critters for the library. So they're fuzzy pom-poms with feet and eyes glued on them. She has them in a jar. And I think the whole thought behind that is to have kids to be quiet. They say, hey, these fuzzies will come out if people are quiet, but they go away if you're loud. So she has them out there, and then
that's brilliant.
If they come back the next day, they're not there. It's because they were too loud. Now she has to do some
She's
repairs, I think, over time because kids like to play with them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's brilliant.
trouble with triples.
Yeah.
So there is a crochet pattern. Have you tried it?
I can't remember. I might have. That was a long time ago.
So the last, I guess before I get to the last one, I'll ask my joke then. And this is, I guess I'll give this credit to my wife's dad, and I find it hilarious. How are, I'm going to butcher this now. I had it all perfectly laid out, and I can't remember how that goes. It is, what do John the Baptist and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
John the Baptist and Winnie the Pooh. They both ate honey?
No.
Oh.
Well, that's a good one. That's too
Yeah, that's
literal.
not funny, but
The answer is their middle names. Yeah.
okay, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I know. It cracks me up.
Yeah.
It's just funny, and I think that's my wife's dad's favorite joke of all time, I believe, and I like it too. I think it's hilarious. John, and you can do with anything with John, like Attila the Hun.
Yeah.
And was it I don't know. I can't think of any of those right now, but
Yeah.
so yeah, if you're joining us late to the game, if you have any
You are
funny
probably
jokes,
really
yeah, if you
confused.
have any funny jokes, dad jokes, we're curious to hear some more if you have any. If you have them, just throw them in there. Any funny jokes, punny jokes. I do want to highlight. Someone mentioned there have been some funny church signs over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a book somewhere around here that does
Yeah.
show some funny church signs
Yep,
that are
there's
pretty.
a book here.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's pretty funny. And if you're joining us, there is a large peep behind us, and there's a whole backstory behind that. That if you watch the beginning of this video, Kelly will talk about her trek into a store and asking multiple times, and finally they gave it to her.
Yeah,
So
I got my peep.
glad you got it.
Mm-hmm.
So the last one I had, I found this funny, and I think it can maybe apply to people, how people feel nowadays. So with the election coming up, apparently this man in Texas was just dissatisfied with the two presidential candidates. So it says that formerly known as Dustin Eby, a 35-year-old U.S. Army veteran and 7th grade math teacher in the suburbs of Dallas, legally changed his name and updated his Texas driver's license to his name being first name literally, middle name anybody, and last name else. So he changed his name legally to literally anybody else. And he announced that he's running for U.S. president in the 2024 election. So he is right now trying to get 113,000 signatures from non-primary voters in the state of Texas by May to get his name on the ballots for the primaries in May. So it's unlikely, so he's trying to get he's campaigning to get people to write his name on the ballot. So apparently in Texas, and I was trying to think through this, in Indiana, I don't know if there's an option, but he says we don't have a neither option on the ballot. And he says this kind of fills that role. And I can't recall if all ballots, if there's some ballots have neither or none, or
I
they
think you can
force you to
just leave
pick
it
one or
blank.
the other. Okay, you just keep it blank.
I think you can just skip it.
So I just find this funny because I feel like literally anybody else, because he's not satisfied with either candidate. So hey, just vote for me, and you can,
Yeah.
I don't know what his policy is, but I found that funny that he was drastic enough to change his name.
He served in.
He was an Army veteran, and now he's a 7th grade math
Army
teacher.
veteran, and he's a 7th grade teacher. Clearly, he's qualified to be president. If you're a teacher, yeah,
There you go.
that's somebody that will have some common sense about education. So
Yeah. He's too young. You need to be at least twice that age to be qualified, right?
No.
I'm joking. I know. So let's see. A ham sandwich walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." That is hilarious. I love that. And then, which bear is the most condescending? A panda. Those are hilarious. If you're watching this after this airs live, if you have additional jokes, post them in there because this is funny. Let's keep it up.
Yeah.
So this has been fun. Just to have a fun little time to meet and just to, have fun after Easter. As I mentioned, it's Holy Humor Sunday is something coming up, but some people make it the whole week. And if you do see Kelly at the church that she serves at, this is the right week to drench her with water if you see her. Maybe a water balloon or something, right?
That will not go over well. but I want to know what this smells like.
Okay, so also if you just joined us, Kelly got some other discounted Peep items because the cardboard wasn't enough. So
And
she got this.
There was
this,
no food, no Peep candy left.
So that is, I threw the wrapper on the floor, but that is,
Yeah.
it's called Pearl Dough.
It's
So it's like
pretty.
Play-Doh with a
Yeah.
shape cutter, and the shape cutter is basically just an oval, which is an egg, I assume.
I guess.
And it says
Yeah.
it is marshmallow scented,
Yeah, it is.
non-edible. So,
That's important.
which is surprising because I thought, isn't Play-Doh edible? Or
Well,
maybe
it's-
can you make
it's
edible
probably,
Play-Doh?
You can make edible
Okay,
Play-Doh.
maybe that's what I'm
yes.
thinking of. I thought
But,
Play-Doh.
Like, Play-Doh itself is probably non-toxic. I'm sure this is non-toxic, but you know, you call it dough, and people are like, I love raw dough.
Got more. Why did the whale blush? It saw the ocean's bottom. That is hilarious as well. I love all these jokes. I think I'm kicking myself. Maybe the Finally Friday should just be Joke Friday. We just post jokes all
there
day.
you go.
Especially for this week, since it is. Maybe I'll do that for this Friday.
Yeah.
Try to find your best joke. We'll post on a Friday to celebrate this Holy Humor Week or Bright Sunday that's coming up. That apparently some religious
That's interesting because
denominations celebrate.
the one of the lectionary texts for this Sunday is the 1 John 1 passage where it talks about living in the light. So maybe that goes along with the, I don't know.
So speaking of that, I'm
the
hoping
bright
that
Sunday.
you're digging deep this Thursday is gonna be full of jokes, right? We're having some fun.
Well, now you're pressuring me.
No. But yeah, so appreciate you all watching us tonight. We had some fun. Keep the jokes coming. Well, I'll ask for that on Friday if I remember. And then looking forward to the rest of this week. This Thursday we'll be back with Digging Deep, right? So last week we did Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch that, you should go check it out. We also did a special Easter thing, an Easter video on Sunday. It's just a quick little, I think it's a 4 or 5 minute video that Kelly and I did just to celebrate Easter and wrap up the discussion with Paul. And then what leads us into this Thursday? What are we going to be talking about this Thursday? Do you know yet, or?
1 John 1.
Oh, 1 John. Okay, you were going to talk first.
Yeah,
Okay,
I am going to talk about that.
I thought you said that was one of the.
It is, but it's
okay,
the
that's
one that I'm going to use.
So 1 John 1. So if you want to prepare for that, just read that, and also you had the coffee with Kelly this morning at 8:30. So if you missed that, check
and
that
there
out.
was a joke on that too.
Oh, there was?
Because I've been using the book Common Prayer for the Ordinary Radical, and there's usually a little blurb. A lot of times it's historical, or it tells you about a saint. Today's was a quote from Garrison Keillor.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
I don't remember the whole thing, but he said God writes a lot of humor. He just has a lot of bad actors.
That's what. Yeah, I remember that. That's funny. That was pretty
That's
good.
A good one.
So if you didn't check that out, check that out as well from this morning. You'll see it on our Facebook group. And with that, we hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later in the comments.